Under the vast Californian sky, a silver silhouette emerged from the mist, carrying with it the promise of a new era. The Tesla Model 2 was not just another car rolling out of Fremont. It was a statement, a declaration that innovation was once again ready to reshape the definition of mobility. As the factory lights shimmered on its aluminum frame, those who stood watching knew they were witnessing the dawn of something unprecedented. For years, the idea of an affordable Tesla was whispered like a myth, a dream for the masses, but seemingly out of reach. Yet on that November morning of 2025, the myth became tangible. The air was electric, the murmurs of engineers and journalists blending with the hum of the assembly lines. Elon Musk stood at the center, quiet but resolute, as if fully aware that history would remember this day as the rebirth of accessible electric mobility. The Model 2 was born not from luxury, but from purpose. Every line of its body told a story of precision, efficiency, and courage to rethink the impossible. It was smaller, yes, but sharper, lighter, and far more intelligent than any car in its class. The reduction in size was not a limitation. It was a design revolution. Tesla had condensed the spirit of innovation into a compact form, an electric pulse ready to disrupt an entire industry. Inside, simplicity reigned with elegance. The panoramic roof was gone, replaced by a solid surface that spoke of practicality over excess. The cabin, though minimal, radiated sophistication through its clean geometry and ambient lighting. A single central screen controlled every function, from climate to navigation, offering an experience so intuitive that the car felt more like an extension of the mind than a machine. When the first units silently rolled out of the Fremont factory, the world held its breath. The price tag, $14,000, echoed like a thunderclap across the automotive landscape. It was not merely affordable, it was a strategic disruption. Tesla had declared war on the status quo, challenging the dominance of low-cost Chinese EVs like BYD. For the first time, Western innovation had created something that could compete not just in technology, but in price. The secret behind this breakthrough lay deep within its structure. Beneath the sleek chassis rested a new generation of LFP batteries, safe, stable, and remarkably efficient. Their chemical simplicity belied their genius. Capable of lasting over a decade with minimal degradation, these cells embodied Tesla's new philosophy: durability as sustainability. In a world obsessed with disposability, the Model 2 dared to endure. Charging was no longer a chore. With rapid charging architecture reaching 80% capacity in 20 minutes, the Model 2 made range anxiety a relic of the past. Tesla had turned convenience into art, merging high-voltage efficiency with a global supercharger network that blanketed continents. What once required planning now felt effortless, a quiet revolution powered by electrons and vision. But perhaps the true brilliance was hidden in the details. The new 48-volt electrical system represented a silent evolution. It allowed lighter wiring, lower heat generation, and unprecedented energy management across all onboard systems. Paired with motors that used no rare earth magnets, Tesla not only cut costs, but also freed itself from geopolitical dependencies. Each wire, each bolt, was part of a greater strategy, a step toward technological sovereignty. Inside the command center of the Fremont facility, screens displayed production metrics that looked almost unreal. Efficiency was at an all-time high, powered by the mighty Giga Press, a mechanical titan capable of molding entire chassis sections in a single cast. With each thundering press, Tesla reduced complexity and cost, compressing hundreds of parts into one seamless form. It was industrial poetry written in aluminum. The air within the factory buzzed with a sense of destiny. Workers who had once assembled the Model 3 and Y now saw their efforts repurposed into a new mission. The Model 2 was not a downgrade. It was a distillation of everything Tesla had learned. By using the same production lines, the company cut months from the timeline and millions from the budget. Time itself became an ally in the race for electric dominance. When journalists first drove the prototype, they were stunned. The handling was sharp, agile, almost playful. A reminder that Tesla had not sacrificed joy for affordability. The rear-wheel drive offered balance and grace, while the all-wheel version unleashed silent bursts of acceleration that defied its humble price. 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, a whispering reminder that performance was not reserved for the rich. Elon Musk's philosophy had always been simple: to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. But the Model 2 made that mission visceral. It placed that future within reach of ordinary people, students, families, dreamers, those who had once looked at Teslas with admiration but not affordability. It was no longer a symbol of status. It was a bridge between aspiration and reality. The marketing campaign that followed felt more like a global movement. Democratizing the electric future, read the billboards. In every major city, from Berlin to São Paulo, from Shanghai to Austin, the Model 2 appeared in showrooms glowing like a promise. The message was clear: sustainability was no longer exclusive. The era of the people's Tesla had begun. Analysts predicted chaos in the EV market. Stocks wavered, competitors panicked, and factories around the world scrambled to react. BYD, NIO, and XPeng suddenly found themselves facing a rival that could match their prices while maintaining superior software, design, and brand appeal. Tesla had rewritten the rules overnight. The race was no longer about who built the cheapest car, but who built the smartest. The first batch sold out in minutes. Online reservation systems crashed under the flood of eager buyers. Forums exploded with speculation about delivery dates, colors, and performance options. It felt less like a car launch and more like the release of a long-awaited piece of technology, the iPhone moment of the EV industry. Inside Tesla's control rooms, algorithms tracked every reservation, adjusting supply chains in real time. AI-managed logistics coordinated the flow of materials from Nevada to California, ensuring not a single delay would tarnish the rollout. It wasn't just a company producing cars, it was a living, breathing organism, learning and adapting faster than anyone had imagined. The Fremont assembly line operated like a symphony of automation. Robotic arms moved with precision, guided by machine learning models trained to detect microscopic imperfections. Each car was a masterpiece of consistency. No panel misaligned, no component wasted. The very act of manufacturing had become a technological performance. By December 2025, shipments had begun. Convoys of Model 2s streamed onto highways, their silent motors gliding like silver ghosts through the night. Drone footage captured the moment when hundreds of them crossed the Golden Gate Bridge, a futuristic procession beneath the fog. It was more than transportation, it was transformation in motion. Drivers who experienced the Model 2 for the first time described it as a whisper that changed everything. The car didn't roar, it hummed. It didn't boast, it performed. Inside, the ambient glow of the screen felt like the heartbeat of an intelligent being, calm, responsive, and aware. The machine didn't just obey, it collaborated. Tesla's software ecosystem turned each car into a node in a planetary network. Over-the-air updates enhanced performance weekly. Bugs were fixed invisibly, and new features appeared overnight. Owners woke up to faster acceleration, better range, smarter autopilot, all without stepping foot in a service center. The car aged in reverse, evolving with its driver. In Europe, cities began adapting to the new wave. Charging hubs expanded, tax incentives aligned, and suddenly, urban landscapes looked different. Rows of compact, silent vehicles replaced noisy engines and fumes. The Model 2 became a symbol of progress, not just for Tesla, but for civilization's collective stride toward cleaner air and smarter cities. At Giga Berlin, engineers celebrated the first localized production run. European versions of the Model 2 rolled out with region-specific tuning, optimized for tighter roads and higher efficiency. The harmony between continents was evident, a single design philosophy expressed through multiple cultures, united by electrons and ambition. China's reaction was immediate. BYD executives reportedly held emergency meetings to recalibrate their strategy. For the first time, a Western automaker had matched them not through subsidies, but through superior engineering and scale. The Model 2's shadow loomed large over the east, a quiet but undeniable signal that innovation had no borders. The United States responded with pride. The return of large-scale, affordable manufacturing within its borders reignited the spirit of industrial leadership. Fremont became more than a factory. It became a beacon. Schools and universities began teaching Tesla's production models as case studies in efficiency and vision. The company had become the blueprint of the future. Meanwhile, Elon Musk remained characteristically understated. The real challenge, he said during a late-night X broadcast, is not making a cheap car. It's making a car that feels like the future, and keeping it within everyone's reach. The feed exploded with reactions, millions tuning in as his words echoed the philosophy that had driven Tesla since its inception. Beneath the public spectacle, another story unfolded. The human story. Thousands of workers, engineers, and designers poured their energy into something greater than profit. Each weld, each line of code, each test on the track was a contribution to a dream, a world where sustainability wasn't an option, but the default. The Model 2 was the embodiment of that dream. By early 2026, streets across the globe began to hum with Tesla's presence. From Tokyo's neon-lit alleys to the quiet suburbs of Paris, the compact car became a cultural icon. Its design, sleek yet friendly, symbolized a future that didn't intimidate, it invited. People no longer saw it as a product, but as a partner in their daily lives. As demand skyrocketed, Tesla faced an unexpected challenge: keeping up. Factories ran non-stop, logistics teams expanded globally, and new Giga facilities were planned in India and Brazil. The company's footprint stretched across hemispheres, its influence transcending geography. What started as a car became a catalyst for global transformation. The energy conversation shifted. With millions adopting EVs, electricity consumption patterns evolved. Renewable grids became more relevant. Solar integration surged, and households began producing as much energy as they consumed. The Model 2, though small, had triggered a planetary-scale ripple, a movement toward energy independence. In quiet neighborhoods, the sound of progress was silence, the absence of engines, the end of exhaust. Children played freely near roads that no longer roared. Cities breathed again. It wasn't utopia, but it was undeniably closer. The promise of sustainable mobility had left the realm of theory and entered the rhythm of daily life. Tesla's vision extended beyond roads. With the Model 2, the company established the groundwork for a complete ecosystem. Cars, batteries, homes, and grids interconnected in perfect harmony. The dream of the electric civilization no longer felt distant. It was unfolding before everyone's eyes, line by line, car by car. Every technological revolution leaves a footprint, not just on industries, but on hearts. People began seeing themselves reflected in the simplicity of the Model 2, humble, efficient, and full of potential. It wasn't about luxury anymore. It was about legacy. Owning one felt less like consumption and more like participation in history. Meanwhile, autopilot continued to evolve. Tesla's neural networks trained on billions of real-world miles, inching closer to full autonomy. In the Model 2, these systems were standard, a gesture of equality in technology. Safety and intelligence were no longer premium features. They were human rights on wheels. By the end of 2026, analysts were no longer asking if Tesla would lead, but how far ahead it would go. The Model 2 had doubled the company's global market share, reshaped consumer expectations, and forced every competitor to rethink its philosophy. Innovation had become contagious. Yet beyond statistics and profits, something deeper stirred. The Model 2 had reignited a collective sense of wonder. For the first time in decades, technology wasn't just advancing, it was inspiring. The world remembered that progress could feel personal, emotional, and deeply human. The Tesla Model 2 was no longer a product launch. It was a cultural renaissance. In its quiet hum lay the sound of a new beginning, the whisper of a civilization learning to move differently, think differently, and dream bigger. In the end, what Elon Musk delivered was not merely a car, but a mirror to the human spirit, proof that progress and accessibility could coexist. The Model 2 didn't just democratize electric mobility, it redefined what the word possible meant. And as the sun set over Fremont, reflecting off the silver curves of the latest batch, one truth became undeniable. The future had arrived, silently, gracefully, and universally. If this story moved you, if the vision of a cleaner, smarter, electrified world resonates with the dreamer in you, then stay with us. Subscribe to our channel, where the future isn't just discussed. It's unveiled, one Tesla at a time. As the echoes of the Model 2 launch reverberated across the world, something profound began to happen. A shift not just in technology, but in mindset. People no longer asked whether electric cars were viable. They asked when they could join the movement. The conversations on social media, in classrooms, and even at kitchen tables revolved around a single realization. The future had finally become attainable, and Tesla had given it a shape, a sound, and a soul. In homes illuminated by solar panels and powered by power walls, the Model 2 parked silently beside them completed the circuit, the embodiment of a self-sustaining dream. Every sunrise seemed to feed the car's purpose, every watt of sunlight transforming into kilometers of freedom. Families began to see transportation not as a burden, but as an extension of nature's rhythm. For the first time, mobility and ecology danced in perfect harmony. Across continents, documentaries and online channels chronicled the phenomenon. Journalists called it the Tesla effect. Economists spoke of energy democratization. But to the ordinary person who pressed that start button for the first time, it felt far simpler. A quiet pride in knowing they were part of something that would outlive them. The Model 2 wasn't just changing traffic, it was changing time itself. The roads of 2026 shimmered differently. At night, cities glowed, not with neon chaos, but with a serene electric pulse. The hum of thousands of Model 2s became a symphony of the new century. Clean, synchronized, unstoppable. It wasn't noise, it was progress. And beneath every hood, in every circuit, was the invisible signature of human perseverance. Inside Tesla's labs, engineers were already thinking beyond. The Model 2 had achieved its mission, but its success unlocked new ambitions. Wireless charging grids, solar-integrated exteriors, and energy sharing between vehicles. The idea of cars communicating and trading energy in real time was no longer science fiction. It was the next iteration of Tesla's living ecosystem. The cultural impact spread like wildfire. Artists painted the Model 2 as a symbol of equality in motion. Filmmakers captured its silent elegance cutting through dystopian skylines. Musicians sampled its electric hum, turning it into soundtracks of renewal. Even skeptics who once dismissed electric cars as elitist toys found themselves captivated by a movement that felt universal and humane. For many, owning a Model 2 became a rite of passage. It wasn't about luxury or speed, it was about belonging to a story, one that would be told for generations. Grandparents took their grandchildren on drives explaining how, once upon a time, the world depended on gasoline and noise. Those children, listening wide-eyed, could scarcely imagine such a thing.